Hello gang, welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to make some ring bases that we're going to add some inlays to after we're finished. So we're taking our calipers here and we're setting them to an exact length that corresponds to the diameter and the circumference of each ring that we're going to cut out. Here we have our sheets of half round gold blanks, and we are going to then measure out the length, file up the edges, and cut them out. So here you see we have this block that we're locking the metal into, and then we're going to file the tops off, and this is going to get us an exact squared off edge of the metal. Then we mark that length out and we'll load it back into our block and we will cut it out to the exact length that we need. Here we're using that jeweler saw and we're coming in and cutting that sheet out to that length that we marked down. And of course, we need to file this flush as well. That way, when the two ends meet up, there's not going to be a gap and the solder will flow perfectly. So here you can see we have quite a bit of rings that we're working on today. We're doing them in yellow gold, rose gold, white gold, and silver. We have all the lengths marked out and all the blanks cut, and now it's time to bend them into circular form. So we're using these nylon half round pliers to get the basic form of the circle bent out, and then we'll come back with some other half round pliers and then we'll bend them exactly so that those two ends meet up and are exactly flush. This is a lot of bending and checking to make sure that we have the exact fit. But once we're satisfied with the fit, we will then get it ready to solder. So here we're actually taking one final pass with the saw blade through that gap, and what this is going to do is it's going to create an even more flush seam so that when we solder it, it'll be invisible to the eye. Sometimes while we're soldering and heating up the ring, things can move. So we're going to tack everything in place as well here with the laser welder so that when we go and add the torch to the ring, nothing shifts or moves on us. So once we've soldered that seam, we're going to add the ring here into our reducing plate, and this is going to round up the edges. So here you see we've added what's called a boric acid mixture or fire scale mixture to the ring. And this is going to protect the metal from any oxides that might occur while we're heating it up. And then we have this paste, which is a flux paste that we're going to add to the seam. And this is going to allow the metal to flow right there on that seam. This helps ensure that the bond between the two ends is strong and will never break. So here we have our torch, and we have little balls of solder that we added there into the inside of the ring, and we're just going to slowly heat it up until the solder starts to melt and flows between the two halves. And after cooling down and cleaning up any residue off the outside of the rings, here we have all our blanks ready to add our inlays to. But some of our rings are channel rings or have pinstripes of gold or silver on them. So we're going to take some other sheets of gold and silver and we're going to cut these down and form them into circles and solder them to the ring as well. So here we're going to flush up the ends with this diamond disc. And then we're going to bend them into circular form to fit onto the outside of these rings, depending on the design of the ring. So we're going to fit it around the outside, and then we're going to mark that seam and cut it, and then we'll come back and solder them all together. Sometimes during the bending process, things can get warped, so we're going to use this planishing hammer to flatten those inlays out. And here, just like the main ring, you'll see that we're going to come back and add little balls of solder to that seam and solder them together so that they don't fall apart. Then we add our inlays to the ring, polish them, and we're ready to send them off to the customer. Hope you enjoyed this little portion of how we make some of our gold inlay rings. See you guys next time. Bye.